So, you just got to be ready to go. And that's reality. That is the way it is.
What a way to start. Sweat on my forehead, racing hard. Woke up with my piss hot, ready to ignite. Let's raise some hell, let's own the night.
Daniels, just a rookie, 26 out of 30, 87%, 231 yards. He rushes for 47. He's doing everything. Shredded, baby. C.J. Stroud, 345 yards, brings the Texans back, wins it at the buzzer. Shred 'em, Stroud.
Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by FLURRY Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Bruner and the rest of the FLURRY Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee. Welcome back to FLURRY Sports. And it is week 9. So we are past the midpoint of the fantasy football year. At least we are at the midpoint of the actual NFL regular season. And I think we know a lot about all of these teams at this point. There's a lot of questions, a lot of injuries, a lot of all of that. So definitely drop any questions you guys have. This is the Wednesday ranking show. Yes, Luke.
Week 9 already crazy, but I don't know. However, kind of for me, it's always been like, let's get to Halloween and then we can really see what teams are kind of like. And I feel like that kind of fits in line this year. Like I think some contenders are separating themselves away from some pretenders, and there's a lot of bad football teams in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I think about a month ago I said there's 4 good teams, and I might trim it to 3.
Yeah,
like there's just the NFL's bad. There's a lot of bad football going on. There's a lot of bad offensive line play, and then as a result, there's a lot of bad quarterbacks. There's a lot of bad coaches. There's a lot of young coaches. There's a lot of inexperienced coaches. There's a lot of non-football people in positions to make football decisions. There's on and on and on, and it's frustrating. And that's why, like, you see, like, there's some teams that completely pull a 180 week to week, like in terms of what they even try to do, much less like in terms of success. Like, this didn't work. Let's throw out absolutely everything and see what sticks this week. It's gross, but it's actually resulted in some fun stuff, like throwback quarterbacks, like every single week popping off. We got Jameis. Russ has had his moments. We've had Joe Flacco. Now we're going to get Joe Flacco again. Mariota had a week. I'm sure Ryan Tannehill is going to sign somewhere at some point and go crazy. I feel like that's the next one that we are not thinking about. Maybe Tyrod. If Rodgers gets hurt Thursday or something, then Tyrod gets to play some bad football teams. That seems likely. So a lot of stuff happening. But this is the Wednesday ranking show. We'll go over the rankings. We'll compare them to the consensus, see where we are higher or lower. And the show is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. So if you're not signed up for Underdog Fantasy yet, scan the QR code on the screen, download the Underdog Fantasy app, or go to underdogfantasy.com. Use the promo code FLURRY, FLURRY. You get a $1,000 deposit bonus, and you can play all of the picks that we will be talking about later. There's also live drafts. There's drafts just for Thursday Night Football the entire week. For NBA, NHL, World Series. Every sport's happening right now. There's drafts for all of them. There's pick 'em for all of them. A lot of money to be made, a lot of promotions to claim, but the first one, the biggest one, use promo code FLURRY and you can get a $1,000 bonus. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. Luke's writing a bunch of NBA Underdog articles on flurrysports.org as well. We have an NBA player props page that you can just use those player props for Underdog as well. A lot of good stuff. A lot of money to claim for free. Some would say that's bad business by us. Maybe
I think
there's.
it, I think it's good business by us.
I mean, if you guys win 100 times your money, just remember who told you the picks. That's all we're saying. That's it. Trevor Lane in the middle, Luke Reimer on the right. I am Zach Bruner. Let's talk about quarterbacks. I have number 1, Josh Allen versus Miami. He destroys the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I have actual numbers pulled up. If you go to flurrysports.org, I also have individual pages for fantasy football rankings this week as well. And there's blurbs, little insights about certain players. Under the quarterbacks one, there's insights for Josh Allen against the Dolphins. He destroys them. I also have Jalen Hurts at number 2 versus the Jags, Jaden Daniels 3 at the Giants, Lamar Jackson 4 versus the Broncos. And I currently have Joe Burrow 5 versus the Raiders, but I think there's a pretty clear separation after 4. It's like the top 4 and everybody else at this moment for me. But Trevor, what do you think of those quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, like Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, and then nobody else. That's probably how I'd assume it's going to be the rest of the year. And to your point, Josh Allen shreds Miami. Granted, last game he didn't do very well against Miami, but that's also because they got out to such a huge lead right out the gate. I think this game is going to be a little more competitive. He's going to have to use his legs. He seems due for a running touchdown as well, so pretty solid guy to have at the number 1 slot.
It should be a crime that Jalen Hurts is allowed to have 3 rushing touchdowns and Saquon Barkley is allowed to have 0.
Eagles are, man.
And that's why he's number 2, and that's why I totally agree with it on this ranking, right? The Eagles, it still feels like, right? And I kind of said that we kind of have an idea of what teams are. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what the Eagles are yet. Like some weeks they're fine, some weeks they're not. They're really right around that 20 to 25 point per game, mark. So what do you really take them at? To me, it kind of feels like they need, a couple nice wins in a row here, to really kind of get their mojo going, and kind of, not that to prove themselves, right? But I guess to kind of prove themselves. So yeah, I'm cool. I think Jalen Hurts. That's only going to run through Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. So I would imagine, Zach, you probably have Saquon Barkley high up in your running back rankings too. So yeah, I love Jalen Hurts here too.
Yeah, I think they're a good football team. I think they're pretty clearly the 3rd best team in the NFC. And I think they have the talent to be the number 1 team in the NFC. They're just not going to be.
Yeah.
But I think the defense is going to continue to get better. I think the offense is fine. And I think AJ Brown's really good. The Eagles still haven't had like their full weapons at all this season. Like the Packer game, kind of, but that's it. So once Goddard's back, hopefully the receivers stay healthy. We'll actually see what this team can be. I have the Josh Allen numbers here, though. So Trevor pointed out his last game wasn't great because they were up by so much. 4 of the past 5 games against them, though, he's passed for 300 yards and multiple scores. In those 4 games, he's passed for 1,383 yards and 12 touchdowns, running for another 208 yards and another touchdown. So he's destroying them.
Yeah.
Has to be number 1 this week. Has to be. But the only thing that can stop him is if Tua doesn't know how to catch snaps, and then that spirals down again. Tua can go fuck himself, by the way.
Well, I don't
talked positively about him last week. I just want to say, go watch his press conference, throws his center under the bus, and then he calls out people at home saying, catching snaps actually isn't that easy. I'd like to see a lot of you do it. Guess what, buddy? It is fucking easy. Like that's the easiest part of your job, and you can't do that right. You can't do any of it right. You suck. And stop throwing your offensive line under the bus, because the more you do that, you're just going to get completely killed. Literally killed at this point. So stop doing it. You're a dumbass. I hate it.
I also don't love that, and a lot of professional athletes do this, like when they're talking to people on Twitter or whatever. Evan Turner is kind of a big proponent of this. How many fantasy football shows talk about Evan Turner? I don't know. But when they talk about that they're better than the normal person, yeah, of course you are. But like
he's not though.
But
Tua's not.
Yeah, but that my point being is, even though you're in the NFL, you're held to such a higher standard than I am. So why are you bringing me into this conversation? Just be better than me. You're not better than me.
Let me tell you something. If catching a snap was so hard, we'd see a lot more fumbles in high school games on snaps because those centers are a fuck ton worse than NFL centers. So if it was really that hard, how come they're not fumbling every snap in high school? I don't get it.
The whole transition to play quarterback in the NFL, the hard part is taking snaps under center. It's not from the gun. And he can't take snaps from the gun. That should tell you everything about Tua. Like, that's the progression is you start getting snaps under center. That's why you see Lamar Jackson. If Lamar Jackson could consistently take snaps under center, the Ravens would be unstoppable. They just don't do that. And I think that's a Lamar Jackson issue. I hope it's a Lamar Jackson issue. If it's a coaching issue, that bothers me more, I think. But it's not that hard, man. It's really not that hard. I digress. Other quarterbacks of note, I have Matthew Stafford up at 10. He plays Seattle. Obviously, healthy receiving core minus Tyler Higbee. Hopefully, Tyler Higbee comes back soon. But, I mean, he looks so good. They're still in must-win mode, and this is a Seahawks defense who sucks.
Yeah, it's a Seahawks defense that sucks, and you bring in back, and not bring him back, but you get, two of the best receivers in the NFL back with you for another week. Yeah, like Matt Stafford's going to have a huge week here.
Love that whole offense.
Yeah. Yeah, and Kyron Williams is a stud too. Where I know it doesn't, like people are probably not underrating him, but it kind of feels like he's a little underrated. Like he scores every single week. He's such a weapon to move the ball. Like the Rams going to move the ball. Stafford is going to be involved with it. I love it.
Kyron Williams isn't even discussed as like he's rarely discussed as an elite fantasy talent.
Right.
He's not up there at all in terms of regular NFL talk, but like fantasy talk, he's not up there. That makes no sense.
Right. Like
spoiler alert, he's my number one running back.
Everyone talking about Derrick Henry scoring how many straight weeks. Like Kyron Williams is, I think, got more than Derrick Henry going right now.
Well, yeah, go look at that running back article. I mean, I'll skip right to it right now. Kyron Williams is running back 5 for the season. He leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns inside the 5-yard line at 7. He has 37 carries and 5 targets in the red zone. So he just sees all the production there. And then this week, the Seahawks allow the 5th most yards per carry, 6th most fantasy points to running backs. He's just going to destroy them.
Kyron Williams is what I thought Cam Akers was going to be there.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. Any quarterback that catches your eye on the list before we compare them to the consensus?
I'm going to keep talking about Bo Nix here. He's got another good matchup against the Ravens, and I in there go read the quarterback stream article. But Broncos are playing really good football right now. Are the Ravens better than the Broncos? Maybe. Can the Ravens get up in this game? Maybe. If they do, I just like Bo Nix that much more. The Ravens are just been bad against the pass this year. And I know we're talking about Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, rightfully so. Even Drake May, but nobody's talking about Bo Nix or how good he's been as a rookie. He's doing it in the past, doing it with his legs. I'm going to continue to ride Bo Nix. I think he's like QB9 in fantasy right now. And how many times have you heard that over the last, 2 weeks about Bo Nix?
Top 10 finish in 3 of the past 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I think his rushing production's a little, I don't think you can trust that. But I mean, the Broncos offense is humming right now.
Right.
And what I like, those are the fantasy plays I like. Like you said, like, either the Broncos are going to play really well and win this game because of Bo Nix, or they're going to be down and need to pass. And that's great too.
Yeah.
So it's like a win-win situation.
I think I wrote in the article, no matter what the Broncos do in this game, Bo Nix is going to be involved.
Right. He has to. Like, there's no game script where like he's just not going to be good.
Yeah.
Especially because the Ravens, they're horrendous covering.
Yeah.
But they're really good at stopping the run.
Yeah.
That's the only issue with him, I think. Like, if there's no threat of a play action game, we'll see how well like the downfield stuff works. But I think he'll still be okay. He'll still be fine. Yeah.
The only other quarterback that I had was Derek Carr too, which I'm willing to take a flyer on him this week if you're in desperate need. If you have a Purdy or a Russell Wilson or something and you need to play. Carolina's bad, man. Load Derek Carr up.
Yeah, Carr expected to be back. Obviously, he doesn't have Rashid Shaheed anymore, but they signed MVS for whatever that is worth. All they need for him is to stretch the field, and he'll catch a couple of big ones. I assume he'll be activated, but yeah. I mean, Derek Carr coming back should be great for that offense.
I mean, I know Shaheed's out, but they were on a historic pace the first 2 games of the season.
They were, but I mean, he still played the next 2 games
Right.
or 3.
What I'm saying
But
is that there's a potential there if you need a flyer.
It is. I am so out on the Saints, though.
Agreed. They're like we when we talked about during the win total, that's like NFL purgatory is the New Orleans Saints. Like what the fuck, you know?
Maybe a veteran quarterback, a leader coming in, because I don't think Dennis whatever is a leader at head coach there. Maybe an actual leader coming in can like insert some energy into this team, but they don't try.
No.
Like especially on defense, that's the thing with me. Like the Panthers are talentless, but they try for the most part. Saints don't even try, so it's even Tyrann Mathieu just checked out.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It's strange. Okay. Jordan Love, by the way, injured groin is the only thing he's listed with. It feels like he tweaked his knee as well, but whatever. They're giving him a realistic chance to play. Packers have a bye week next week, so yes, this is a really big game. I think it would surprise me if he goes. And obviously, the entire Packers offense changes, whether it's Jordan Love or Malik Willis. So that's definitely a situation to watch. I currently have Jordan Love ranked as if he plays. I don't really love him this week, even if he plays. And if Malik Willis is in there, I'm not playing him. I think he'll be fine, but I think he needs a rushing touchdown to save his day. And I don't really love projecting that for anybody other than maybe Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that.
One guy that hurts me to see ranked where he is Jameis Winston at 21. I understand the logic, but I have Mahomes. I picked him up, and there was a time when I was like, I'm firing up Winston, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope he goes off, but I feel like this week is going to hurt me in multiple ways.
I mean, that pregame interview was just electricity injected into my veins. It was the greatest.
He loved the bit.
It was the greatest pregame promo I've seen in a long time. He knows where the camera is. He worked it, and they need to do it before every game. It was incredible. I don't dislike him this week. He'll probably continue to go up the board for me. I think this is a buy low spot for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Mahomes is insane on Monday Night Football. This is another blurb from the quarterback ranking article on FLURRYSports.org. He's played 11 Monday Night Football games. He's averaged 283.6 passing yards. He's thrown 24 touchdowns to just 8 interceptions, and he averages over 30 rushing yards, and he scored 2 times with his legs as well. And obviously the Buccaneers give up the most passing yards to quarterbacks per game, or fantasy points per game to quarterbacks this year. So it's just shaping up for a good one. Obviously, another week of DeAndre Hopkins there helps, getting everybody a little bit healthier. We'll see when Pacheco comes back soon. I think Mahomes is going to be fine. I don't think he is necessarily a top, I'm not even sure if he's a top 8 guy the rest of the way, but I think he's pretty good this week, and I think he's going to be fine for fantasy football. Whereas right now, to your point, Trevor, he's losing you weeks right now. Not good at all. In terms of where I rank people, I'm a little higher on Kyler Murray. I'll correct that probably. And I'm 3 spots higher on Joe Flacco at 19. So I guess we should say that Joe Flacco plays the Vikings, and Joe Flacco has been incredible by all accounts. So, and the Vikings have been pretty damn bad, to be honest, in terms of defending the pass. So if their pass rush doesn't get home against Joe Flacco, probably not a good thing. And Joe Flacco, 7 starts the past 2 years. He's thrown multiple touchdowns in every single game. He's thrown for over 300 yards in 5 of those 7 games. Vikings have given up 67.3% completion rate the last 3 games. So,
I mean,
not great.
With pressure sending, there's going to be guys open.
Yeah, I trust Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
If you tell me Joe Flacco is going to have a 30-yard touchdown run, I'll say only one, because he probably has a couple in him. I fully trust him, so he'll probably go up my list as well. We'll see. Keyshawn, apologies if I pronounced that wrong. Thoughts on Caleb Williams this week and moving forward? I have him ranked at 9. And I'll say the same thing that I've said about Caleb Williams since the preseason. I said he was going to start slow. He did. I said he's going to pick up and play extremely well. He has. And then I think he's going to end the year, fantasy playoffs, pretty badly. Windy City with a spread offense, not good. Add in snow, add in cold, add in Caleb Williams to that. Don't love it. So I think Caleb Williams is going to be fine over the next several weeks. And then once we hit week 12 and 13, and after that, I don't want anything to do with him, to be honest. Actually, just look at this schedule from week 12 on. Vikings, Lions, San Francisco, Vikings, Lions, Seahawks.
Yeah, I was going to bring up his brutal end of the year schedule here.
But then add in the wind, add in the outside games, add in the snow, add in. Let's just assume one of his pass catchers are down at that point because it's the NFL, and at some point someone's going to go down. Like, I hate that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, they have an emphasis too. They really want to run the ball there, and who doesn't want to run the ball? But is this a spot where, and Kashawn, maybe if you have Caleb Williams, you give me your thoughts as well. Like, could you like sell high in Caleb? I don't know if it's really sell high, but like sell Caleb Williams right now.
He just had a bad game, so
right.
You'll have to gauge the temperature of your league mates. I feel like you need one more good one.
Okay.
In my opinion, what do you think, Trevor?
I agree. I mean, I saw the video everybody went crazy about him adjusting for the wind in Chicago a couple weeks back on a throw. And it's like, guys, first of all, it wasn't that windy compared to what it's going to be at the end of the year, to your point. And that was A. And B, he's playing the fucking Carolina Panthers. So let's understand what's going on. Yeah, I mean, the wind's going to get cold. The Bears are going to be playing for their season because I think they're going to be good enough to be in the hunt. Do we really trust the Bears to not completely fall apart in the cold against very good divisional teams? Like, do we really think he's going to win a matchup against Brian Flores and the Vikings? Absolutely not. So I completely agree. I'm if you can get anything for him, I'm trading him right now anywhere outside of Dynasty.
Yeah. Don't trade him for Dynasty. I think he's a good quarterback. Coming from 3 Packer fans, I feel like we all say the same thing. Or no?
Yeah.
Like, I think he's good.
Yeah, he's fine.
Swift or Cook rest of season. My rest of season rankings will come out tomorrow. They're going to be close. I'm just not a James Cook guy.
Not either.
I'm
not a Swift guy either.
That's fair.
I'm the Swift guy. I'm not a James Cook guy, but
are you a Swiftie?
No,
I'm not.
I've been thinking, like, when I drafted Cook, I didn't think he'd be that good. I just wanted somebody different. Like, every week I wait for the training wheels to fall off, and it hasn't. So to that point, I think I have to go Cook.
I'm still not out of the mindset that when it gets down to it, Josh Allen is going to be the one scoring rushing touchdowns. I still think that and that hasn't really been the case this year, other than week 1. But I think really when we get to the meat and potatoes, like the week 13s, week 14s, week 15s, in must-win games, like Josh Allen's going to take the ball
for sure. I guess I'll go Cook. I think they're really close though. Trey, viewing the outlook of the rest of the season, would you consider trading Zay Flowers for Josh Downs? I've had this question multiple times the past couple of days, actually.
Interesting.
I like Downs more.
Yeah, I think Josh Downs is a better football player than Zay Flowers. Maybe that's a bold statement. But yeah, I mean, Baltimore probably, especially with Baltimore getting Deontay Johnson, right? Probably a couple more weapons. Baltimore obviously wants to run the football. And Josh Downs, it's been awesome with Joe Flacco this year. I'm cool with it. Yeah, I like it.
Trevor?
I agree as well. Them sitting Richardson is weird. The Colts, in my opinion.
Have to.
Well, he sucks.
I mean, you have to.
I hate there's so many people grandstanding for Anthony Richardson right now. Where the fuck was that for Trey Lance?
Right.
That's true.
And Trey Lance was a very different situation. Like, he played in the downpour. He got hurt. And then he came back and wasn't given a chance. He was ran a completely different offense. Anthony Richardson checked out because he's tired. You have to sit him.
Yeah.
You have to. It's insane.
I don't know when he comes back, if he comes back this year. Like, if Joe Flacco starts slinging it, you don't bring back Anthony Richardson for no reason, do you? Like, they're going to be in the playoff hunt because they play in the AFC North or South.
South.
It always fucks me up that they're in the fucking AFC South. But beside the point, and as long as Joe Flacco's playing, to your point, Josh Downs is going to be good. The Ravens love running the ball. They have another weapon to throw it to. Like, I don't trust Zay Flowers for probably any week for the rest of time.
Even if the Colts get knocked out of the playoffs, I don't think they go to Anthony Richardson unless Joe Flacco gets hurt, which is possible. Like, he wasn't preparing to play a full half season, essentially.
Right.
But I mean, you sat Anthony Richardson because you need a leader. You can't have a team full of people willing to check out when they're breathing hard. So you can't go back to that guy. There's no shot. He has to prove himself, and he's not going to prove himself in the middle of the year. So can't do it. Honestly, teams should be looking to trade for Anthony Richardson, because if I'm the Colts, I'm shipping him out. I'm sending that statement through the locker room. I don't even want him here.
Yeah.
But with that trade, I think Zay Flowers actually may get better because of Deontay Johnson.
Maybe.
I just prefer Josh Downs while he has Joe Flacco. I think he has the better passing quarterback. I think he's a bigger part of the offense. I think the Ravens guys, all of them, including Derrick Henry, I think are going to start being a little bit more inconsistent. Personally.
It's fair.
They already are.
Yep. Right.
Minus Henry. Timeless. Do I start Ramondre Stevenson over Jaden Reed or Marvin, my flex spot, half PPR? I'm not doing it over Marvin Harrison Jr.
I'm doing it over Jaden Reed for sure. Yeah. I think Marvin Harrison probably has a higher ceiling. Yeah, I'm cool with Harrison.
Patriots play who again?
Tennessee.
Yeah, and Tennessee's not an easy matchup. Okay. Yeah, that's good for quarterbacks. Again, FLURRYSports.org has the rankings. Running backs here, we already talked about them. I have Kyron Williams at number 1 at Seattle. I assume I'm the only one who has that, but we shall see as the week goes on.
That's why you're number 1.
Yeah, there will be some copycats. Just know I did it first. I have number 2, Saquon Barkley. Talked about him versus Jacksonville. Bijan Robinson 3 versus Dallas. He was at least when I did the rankings, when I first brought it up, it first loads the consensus rankings. Bijan was number 1. And I you know what? I turned off the computer and I walked away.
Yeah,
I needed to calm down. I'll even say this. There is no scenario for Bijan Robinson to be the number 1 running back. Clip this once he is. But I think there's no scenario, because if he's having this great game, the Falcons are scoring so many points, you know what happens? Tyler Algier comes in. Like, I just don't think there's even a scenario where he's the number 1 running back, unless everybody else just does nothing.
When I pulled it up before the show, Saquon was 1. I think Bijan was 4. So there has been some movement, but I mean, to your point, I don't think Bijan's a top 3 running back. I think you go as far as to say he will never be a top 5 running back week to week, at least trustworthy. I mean, they have too good of a backup. Like, Tyler Algier is a very good player. Like, this isn't like some bum backup that walked in and is vulturing stuff. Dude knows how to play.
Yeah, I'm everyone's a Bijan guy. I like Bijan. I like watching him run the football, but I've never seen someone be ranked so high off of what people want this running back to be. Like, if you had no idea about football and you heard someone talk about Bijan Robinson, you would think he's like prime Earl Campbell. Like, he's a fine running back. I think he's way too overrated right now.
Everyone thought he would be Christian McCaffrey, and then they blamed Arthur Smith when he wasn't. Before Bijan Robinson, they had a 1,000-yard year 1 running back. Now it's Tyler Algier. Like, why would they move away from him? I thought it was stupid that they even drafted Bijan. Bijan's been good. Like, he's been clearly the best offensive player they have, I would say. Weapon, not lineman. but you know, whatever. Where would we rank these guys? I'll just jump over to wide receivers quickly. Let's assume PPR. So he's got Olave, Jaden Reed, Zay Flowers, and Khalil Shakir. Let's rank Olave, assuming Derek Carr plays. My rankings, I will say, if Derek Carr gets ruled active, like before Saturday, I think Olave will rise in my rankings a little bit.
I think I like Shakir the most.
I like him. I need to put Shakir above Jaden Reed. I know I'm lower on Jaden Reed than most people, but I think I would go. I think I like Flowers most. That feels weird to say.
I'm doing Shakir, Flowers, Reed, Olave.
I'm completely different. I'm going Shakir, Olave, Flowers, Reed.
To me, I don't think you can put Reed last. Just like out of these four, I think he has the best shot of a touchdown.
I think Olave has the best shot at a touchdown, but I think Reed probably has the second best. I'll stick to my rankings at the moment. I'll go Flowers, Shakir, Reed, Olave, but I think Olave has a chance to come up a little bit. I just don't know if they need to like downfield pass against the Panthers. I don't know. I think it's probably a decent Alvin Kamara game. We'll see.
It feels like a Alvin Kamara, like 9 receptions for 109 yards and a touchdown kind of game.
I mean, they played week 1, right?
Yeah.
So Alvin Kamara week 1 against a arguably better Panthers defense at that moment. He had 83 rushing yards, 5 catches, 27 yards, and a touchdown. Finished as running back 7 in half PPR.
No.
So pretty efficient game. We'll see. For whatever reason, I don't understand this thing going on either. On Twitter, on the way a lot of people are ranking, everyone's saying this is a Taysom Hill week. And they're ranking him and talking him up as such. And I don't necessarily disagree, but everyone's saying it with confidence.
Why is it any different than any other week?
I don't know. Like,
yeah, I have him in a tight end streamers article, but I'm not ranking him any higher than like 15 or 16. Like, you don't know what you're going to get out of him. He's the same player that he was before.
I feel like I missed something said at a press conference or something. So that's why I need to go try to find it. Everyone's talking about it as like confidence. And I don't know, like there's a quarterback coming back for sure. It's Derek Carr. So it's like when Derek Carr comes back, that's when Taysom Hill is all of a sudden.
It doesn't seem right.
I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know. Unless they think Derek Carr is that terrible in red zone where Taysom Hill is going to take red zone snaps. And again, I don't necessarily disagree. I just don't know where the confidence is coming from.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It's odd.
Mm-hmm. Other running backs, like it's like every week, but especially this week, I feel like it was tough to rank. I mean, truly 3 through 20. I feel like they're all pretty similar. I think I'm going to move him up. I think this is a big Devon Achane game. Playing Buffalo.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo can't really stop the run very well. I think Achane's going to score, and he played well last week.
Yeah.
Mostert just took a couple of touchdowns from him. Achane still scored 1, I think. I like him. He's currently at 7 for me. Again, Kamara, I like this week. Let's talk about David Montgomery. I currently have him at 16. I will bring him up, I'm sure. He destroys the Packers. So he has totaled in PPR 13 or more fantasy points in 7 straight games against Green Bay, dating back to 2020. This includes over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns in his 2 combined games last year.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like he's right there with Derrick Henry and Kyren Williams, where probably just bet that he's going to score a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Like, it might be even for, like, I love a David Montgomery first touchdown scorer in this game.
Mhm.
And maybe this is a conversation for next week. Um, Derrick Henry, David Montgomery has a good game. I don't hate a sell. I don't hate a sell high. I love David Montgomery. Is David Montgomery an RB? Like if you have an as RB2, cool. You know, like Derrick Henry, David Montgomery, love that. If you have him as an RB1 and maybe you can need to move some pieces around, like is he an RB1 on a championship fantasy team this year?
Um, Probably not. To your point, I think of what you're saying. Like if you can sell him for RB1 value, I think fine
Right.
do that. I don't know. Like I think I'm higher on him every single week than everybody else, and I don't really rank him in the top 10 usually.
Yeah.
Like people still very firmly have the belief it is uh uh what's his face now? The
Jameer.
other Jameer Gibbs. It's Jameer Gibbs 1, David Montgomery 2. They think that's the order. Not even 1A, 1B. They think it's 1 and 2. And that's not true.
Right. I don't know. In the league that I had, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, like and David Montgomery, I thought all year, I'm like, no, I'm not going to trade him. You know, he's fine. But I wonder if I can move him for something around. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation, I think, to have at least.
I think everyone is sellable. Everyone's
Yeah.
tradable. It's just whatever you can get for him. Yeah,
Right.
I don't view him as a top 10 running back or even really top 12. I think he's probably somewhere between 12 and 16, let's just say. Like
Yeah.
I think he's a high end RB2.
I would agree.
And
So,
I mean, is there anything that tells us that the Lions can't run all over the Packers again? Like, has anything changed since the last year? Like, I think they run
No.
for over 200, 250 yards in this game, especially when Willis is playing.
I think when you see the injury report and everything, what I will say has changed is an upgrade at linebacker with Quay Walker out.
Wasn't
Because
he back at practice though today? I thought he was playing this week.
Probably, but you never know. So if he's in, I think the Packers get worse. But if Quay Walker's out, I think they're going to continue to play really well up front. He's the issue. I think Luke said a couple weeks ago he drops back into coverage on run
plays.
It's true. It's every time. Every time. Nino, welcome back.
Nino.
Was pretty worried about Deontay's fantasy output with him going to the Ravens, so I sent him for Charbonnet and Tank Dell. He has Kenneth Walker already. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely won that trade.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Dell is probably comparable to him rest of season, but then getting the handcuff in Seattle is awesome. So Good job. I hate Javonte Williams this week against the Ravens. Terrible matchup.
I hate Javonte Williams every week for what he's done to me the last 3 weeks in Dynasty.
Yeah. He's something, huh? By that metric, he's probably going to go off, but we'll see. Compared to the consensus. Oh, by the way, just because I'm looking at it, no one's acting as if Tracy's out, and I don't understand why. He's concussed.
Yeah.
And it's taking everybody suspiciously 8 days to come back. Every time. So it's like he's going to be out this week. I can almost guarantee it.
So assuming Tyrone Tracy's out, what does that do for the Giants backfield? Is there anything you love? Anything you're really looking at? Yeah.
Like I feel like there's no reason not to. I am 14 spots higher on Singletary. I am at 19. I think you can confidently start him. He plays Washington, who I don't think is very good defensively.
Yeah, he was playing great too before he got hurt to start the year.
Yeah. I love Tracy. I think Tracy is, probably the more talented running back. I think they're both really good, actually. So, yeah, if one of them's out, for sure play the other one. No matter how bad the Giants are, I think they can move the ball against Washington. Yeah, Nino agrees with us. When do we like Javonte? Man, I still think he can be good. It pains me.
Shout out Carolina.
Yeah,
I got a question for you guys, kind of while we're on Tyrone Tracy. I currently have him as a flex. Benches Spears, Keon Coleman, and Hawkinson because Evans is hurt, half PPR. where are you guys going on that one? I'm assuming Coleman, but
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, just because of I think Josh Allen plays well.
Yeah.
I will say
Yeah,
though, in my running back streamers article, I wrote up Tajay Spears. I think he's good this week coming back.
I also agree. I'm just loading up Bills this week. If you got Bills, play them.
and he can't do anything any worse than the last time he played Miami. That's a fact.
Right.
That's
Well,
true.
it's
Well-
going to be very hard, but it's possible. Shout out Chris Olave when he caught one pass and immediately fumbled it.
Yeah, I've had a few negatives in my lineups this year, so it is possible. I don't think he will though. Okay. Other running backs I'm higher on. I'm 5 higher on DeAndre Swift at 9. I'm 5 higher on Brian Robinson Jr. at 15 against the Giants. I'm not sure why people are off him. I'm 13 higher on Dare Gumbawale at 46 tomorrow night. Damian Pierce is out, so Gumbawale will play that RB2 spot. In terms of who I'm lower on, I guess I'm lower on Kamara. I'll probably
Really?
move him up a little bit. I am at 11. Consensus has him
Oh.
at 7. So we'll see. Josh Jacobs, I have at 20. That's 4 spots lower than the consensus. I'm 4 lower on Pollard at 21, and that's because I like Spears. And that's about it for relevant people, I guess. I'm lower on Delvin Cook for whatever that's worth. I don't. He looked like the better running back in that game too.
Sure
I
did.
don't know what's going on. And now it's like Rico Dowdle's coming back, and we're going to give him carries. Why?
I hate Rico Dowdle.
Me too. I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They don't deserve to feel surprised or disappointed by their backfield.
Right.
They have 3 running backs. One of them's clearly better than the others, and he's been inactive every week except for this past week, and he still barely touched the football.
Also, I have issue with Dowdle and the Cowboys because you couldn't have reported that injury like before. You know,
He was sick.
you did. I mean, didn't that come out like after the 12 o'clock games? Pretty
Yeah,
sure
he was
it did.
sick. He was sick. It's not an injury.
Man, you know that when you wake up in the morning. I should be seeing that news at like 8 in the morning. What are we doing?
I mean, there's the central 11 o'clock news thing you have to report. It's like before each game. There's a certain amount of hours before the game you have to report.
Hour and a half.
So, yeah, so they didn't have to. I think it's fine. I like the gamesmanship. I respect the hustle.
I like the idea of nobody ever knowing who they're going to play against.
I mean, coaches love to do it. That's why Jordan Love has a chance to play this week. And at least this one kind of makes sense because it's completely different offenses to prepare for.
Imagine how crazy the NFL would, and I guess fantasy football to a lesser degree, if the injury report did not exist. That would be fun.
And that's college fantasy that we play.
That's fair. Yeah.
I've been burned a couple times where it's like,
Yep.
why isn't my guy doing anything? And then fourth quarter is like, oh yeah, he was seen on the sideline. Like, okay, cool. I
Yep.
guess. I mean, fuck me, I guess. Whatever. Yeah.
They had one guy, the Utah State receiver, who just quit. Not quit, but he's like, yeah, I'm getting ready for the draft. They said it Saturday morning.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what he decided.
Yep.
He did. No one asked him. Okay. Wide receivers, I have CeeDee Lamb at number 1 against Atlanta. I
Yeah.
have Justin Jefferson 2 versus the Colts. Jamar
Yeah.
Chase 3 versus
Yeah.
the Raiders. AJ Brown 4 versus the Jags.
Yep.
And Amon Ra at the Packers number 5. Luke, what do you think of those?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue it. I'm wondering if you had Josh Allen stats against the Dolphins. Any chance we can get Tyreek Hill's stats against the Bills? 'Cause I'm not ready to give up on Tyreek Hill yet.
I'm not
saying
either.
I've been saying for a couple weeks, and I know you can't rank him top 5. I understand that. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I am at 7. He was actually one I was going to ask you specifically about, since you're a big fan. Like, he's actually banged up, which is insane.
Right.
After like the past several weeks. Like, what were you doing? Okay, against the Bills, not good.
Okay.
He went 3 for 24 earlier this year. Last year, 7 for 82 and a touchdown, then 3 for 58, 9 for 69 and a touchdown, 2 for 33, 7 for 63, 3 for 20, 7 for 41.
So nothing crazy.
So that tells me that every other time he gets 30 yards, so he's probably good for like 8 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown this week.
Maybe. Yeah. Is it okay? So games in Buffalo, he's gone 3 for 58, 969 and a touchdown, 3 for 20, and 7 for 69. So yeah.
Yeah,
he'll be okay.
Like I said, I'm not ready to give up on him. I'm just like, I'm willing to die with Tyreek Hill this year.
I traded for him in multiple leagues.
Yeah.
Like, I believe there's something, I don't know. It's not even a Tua issue. It's for sure not a Tyreek issue. Mike McDaniel like called all the plays he knew last year, and then he's just trying to do it again, I think.
I know. Yeah.
There's nothing. There's no progression in the offense at all.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. I know that had nothing to do with the top 5. I'm just curious about Tyreek Hill.
Well, no, because he should be a borderline top 5 guy.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us would be surprised if he finished top 5. But if you're a Tyreek Hill owner, I think everyone's thinking about like, do we sit him if we have?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm Cedric Tillman,
Right.
Who's gone crazy. I don't know. Hey fellas, Bigsby owner with ETN possible return, dropping Tank for Tracy, who was dropped. This is the thing. Everyone wants to pick up Tracy, who's not playing. He's concussed. I'm not dropping Tank.
No, Tank's been too good this year.
Also, I mean, Tracy's not playing, so I don't think just pick him up next week. Nobody's going to pick up a guy that's not playing for a week just to set him on the roster.
Does he have an injury tag? Because I've been getting so many
Tracy?
questions about getting him. Yeah.
Tracy is questionable right now, at least on Sleeper.
Okay. Let me look on Yahoo. Just because no one's talking about it as if he's hurt. It kind of blows my mind. He's questionable. Okay. So he must be questionable across the board. Deemed non-participant in practice. Yeah, because he's concussed. Like everyone's treating this as if he's not really concussed. Like it's a conspiracy. I don't know. I feel like everyone's like all these news reports are gaslighting me. I don't know I saw him hit his head on the turf. I know it happened. Okay. Other receivers. What do we do with the Jets, guys?
I'm sitting them.
Like, I think the Jets win. I think Aaron Rodgers plays pretty well, but it's totally a gut call.
I mean, to me, Garrett Wilson's wide receiver 2, Devontae's a flex, and the rest is I don't even care about.
You rank Wilson above Devontae, though?
I do. I need to see it, and as soon as Devontae does it, I'll give it to Devontae, right? But I need to see 100 yards and a touchdown from Devontae to get ahead of Wilson.
That's fair. I currently have him Wilson 12, Devontae 14, which by all accounts is too high. But
yeah, maybe I'm a little low on Devontae. Like it's either they're both wide receiver 2s or a wide receiver 2 and a flex. Like like how much confidence do you have in these guys?
None. Like,
right.
You're not low on
That's
Devontae for what we have seen this year.
Right.
I know Devontae's still good.
Agreed,
I know
100%.
Aaron Rodgers, no one wants to hear this. He's played well. I know nobody wants to hear that, but I've watched the games and he's played well. So,
well, to your point, I mean, even if he plays the exact same and they have a fucking kicker, they're what, 6-2, 5-3?
Yeah. And narrative very, very different at that point. Banderson was thinking long term. Even still, I think I want Bigsby.
I do for sure.
I don't think they're that much different.
And we know what Bigsby is without ETN.
I mean, you could say that about we know what Tracy is without
maybe. I guess. Yeah.
But I don't. The one on, I guess we know a lot of different scenarios here. The one unknown, I suppose, is what is the split going to be in Jacksonville once everyone's back healthy? And I think Tank's going to see a lot of touches.
Yeah, to me, there's no reason why Tank doesn't get the first two possessions of the game. ETN comes in as a second and long, third down kind of guy.
Well, no one's talking about this. And if I'm the Jags, this is what I'm doing. I think we're going to see ETN play slot a lot.
Sure. I don't hate that either, especially with Kirk out. Yeah.
And you know why? Just because that good old boy Urban Meyer worked him up as a slot when they got him. Remember? Like
That's
he
damn
said,
straight.
the entire trading camp, he did nothing but slot receiver because he knew what he had in a running back already. So we just need to catch him up here. And now it's going to pay off.
Damn straight.
Thank Urban Meyer. But yeah, Christian Kirk's out. So people really like Parker Washington this week as well. I believe that's his name.
I don't.
I think he's a decent player, but I think Gabe Davis plays. I think Brian Thomas Jr. has a decent chance to play.
Yeah.
So.
And Evan Ingram still exists too.
Evan Ingram still exists. They played a lot of 12. I'm not even sure if it was technically 12. I think they put Ingram at wide receiver and then Brenton Strange at tight end, and they targeted him a lot. But yeah, I think ETN comes back this week. I think he plays slot. So by committee there, and it's not necessarily a good committee. So, don't need to get a bunch of players.
How many times this week do you think ETN's going to make a play out of slot and the commentator is going to say something along the lines of, well, when you have a running back that can play the slot, it makes everything so much easier? Because I swear they just say the same thing every time, just with different words.
Yeah, and I can't wait for the fantasy analyst to be like, actually, ETN does have experience at slot, and then they're going to do a big deep dive next week. It's like, yeah, guys, he does, actually. A lot of running backs do. Can't wait for it. Other guys. I think Kelvin Ridley, I think I said something like I need to see him do something last week.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
I think he's 4th in the league in air yards. So he's getting targeted, and I mean he's got a good matchup. So I like him again. I currently have him at 29, but it's one of those things where he's kind of boom or bust at this moment.
Yeah. Are you ever going to fully trust Calvin Ridley this year? Is the question with him?
He has a little too much Jameson Williams where he doesn't really trust himself.
Correct.
You got to put some, table protector so he doesn't bump his head. There's like a lot of little things like that where it's like he just screws himself. So
Yep.
We'll see. But he's talented and he's the clear number 1 guy now. So we'll see. And not to change the position, you can change the subject position, whatever you would like, Mike. Should I drop Jennings, Judy, or Tolbert?
I would.
That's interesting.
I think Juwan Jennings. Well,
I think you're right.
I don't know.
Why does anyone have faith in Juwan Jennings?
Right. I mean,
Because
Ricky
he had a big
Pearsall's
week
here,
earlier.
George Kittle's here. Deebo Samuel's healthy. Christian McCaffrey may be on the mend here. Like Juwan Jennings performs when nobody else is healthy.
He performs when he plays starting slot receiver.
Yeah.
Which isn't needed.
On top of that, to be honest, like I was thinking Tolbert at first, but if I have to go a week, gun to my head, who can you trust 2 out of 3? Jennings is being left out every time.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, if the question is who do I trust?
None, to be honest.
No, I think I trust Tolbert the most. Maybe I don't, because I think Brandon Cooks comes back soon.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're all droppable. I would drop all of them for Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, agreed with that.
So yeah, he has Waddle and Bateman. I mean, you're keeping them, obviously.
Try to see if this is gonna sound weird, but there's 2 of these in every league. I have a feeling you could trade Jennings and another guy for an increase at wide receiver here. Like somebody's gonna think you're crazy for even thinking about Juwan Jennings, and you need to trade with that guy immediately.
You could trade Jennings and Judy for a slight upgrade for someone you trust a little bit more at receiver. He mentioned Bateman, though. Poor Rashad Bateman. He finally is playing well. And then now he is the wide receiver 3 in like the
Well,
6th option on the offense or so now.
well, someone said to me, "Is Rashad Bateman finally good? Like he's finally healthy is the thing." And
Yeah.
you know, he was first round receiver. They drafted him for a reason. But yeah, to your point, just it feels like every time it comes up, just 3 steps back down the depth chart.
What does this tell you? If you want to be successful in the NFL, don't go to Minnesota. Not going to work out for you.
That is
Outside of
true.
Lawrence Maroney. Shout out Lawrence Maroney.
Minnesota's had some sneaky receivers in the NFL though. Him,
Kevin
Tyler
McHale.
Johnson's decent. Eric Decker, Kevin McHale. Yeah, for sure. Kittle on by. I need a tight end. I don't know why I didn't really think about this. I think I'm trying to sell high in Rashad Bateman. Maybe people are still viewing him as a decent play, and I'm not sure if he can be. So I don't hate going Jennings and Bateman for just something.
So I kind of want to circle back to you said you would drop any of these guys for Cedric Tillman, and I agree with you. Where's that line at? Would you drop any of these guys for like a Christian Watson?
No, I think he's just in that same mix of untrustworthy without the talent or opportunity, reliable talent or opportunity. So I wouldn't drop him for that. I drop him for Demario Douglas still.
Okay, that was another one in my mind. What about someone like? I mean, Khalil Shakir is not sitting out there.
No. It's would I drop them for? I was gonna say maybe Noah Brown.
What about like a Demarcus Robinson?
Not. I wouldn't drop him for Robinson.
What about like Roma Dunze?
I'm not sure if he's out there. I think I would want a Dunze over probably all of them.
Okay.
Judy should be involved there though.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean,
I don't know. They all kind of feel like they're in that wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 kind of tier, you know.
His first thought was Tolbert because of the inconsistency of the offense. I fully understand that. He's been okay, and I don't know how the Cowboys offense gets worse.
The thing too with Tolbert is he has a role when everyone's healthy. Juwan Jennings does not have a role when everyone's healthy.
Correct.
For you know whether that's good or not, you know, Juwan Jennings is a great player. Just too many mouths to feed.
I think they're all pretty talented. Like if we go by straight talent, I think Judy might be last.
Yeah.
Which 4 would we start? Welcome back, Pater, Devontae, Flowers, Hawkinson, Shakir, Etienne, and Bigsby. So I think we're for sure starting Devontae and Shakir, right?
Yep.
Okay. PPR, Pater, I assume. Let us know. Are we immediately starting Hawkinson? I don't know if I can.
I'm not.
Yeah, I think he's the first one I rule out here, actually.
Is there any indication? Is there any way that one of these Jacksonville running backs doesn't play? Because that would obviously be the start, right? If just start the other one.
For sure. If one of them's out, start the other one. I'm pretty confident both play though. So I think I would go Smith, Shakir, Flowers, Bigsby.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, I'm trying to make a case for ETN in my head, and I don't think that I can.
Full PPR for tight end, half for the rest. I remember
that's
that.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Which makes Hawkinson interesting. It seems too obvious that he would be on a snap count.
Yeah.
Yeah, make Hawkinson show you something before you put him in.
Mm-hmm. Mike, I would invite you to go look at Jameis Winston's pregame interview, sideline interview. The man's the most confident I've ever seen in my life. He will not get nervous. I will say though, Winston developed a pretty nice chemistry working with the backups, aka Cedric Tillman at the time. So that's why he needs to figure out a chemistry for Judy. So I think that does happen, but pretty clearly he has a better connection with Tillman and even Njoku right now.
I think I'm out on Jerry Judy. Like this whole
Oh,
Jerry
I'm
Judy.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his whole career, Jerry Judy's like, well, he has an opportunity with so and so a quarterback, and that opportunity's never happened.
Okay, Mike's in New Orleans. He
Okay.
understands Jameis Winston. Thank you. He will not be nervous. But yeah, Jerry Judy, I'm still, I think about it every time I see him. I'm so upset Steve Smith apologized to him
Yeah, agreed.
because he didn't say a single false thing. He's just a social media wide receiver. He just posts himself doing ladder drills and stuff. Pretty cool, I guess. Whatever. Eric, what's up? Standard, which two? I'm going Elijah Moore. Yes?
Oh, I was thinking DJ Moore
Okay, got to be DJ Moore. My mind was on Browns. DJ Moore, Shakir, or Flowers. I'm going DJ Moore.
and Shakir.
Yep.
I think I have Flowers above him right now, but yeah, I might go Shakir.
And Flowers above
close.
him is probably the right ranking. I think Shakir's ceiling is way higher this week.
I guess Ravens play the Broncos. It's not like that's easy. It's a tough matchup.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Flowers is gonna gets to go up against a white corner. Like, I know he's good, but in my mind, it's like he cooks them every time.
Yeah, Eric, I don't know that Surtain sees Flowers. I assume Surtain sees Deontay Johnson in this one.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think they move Flowers around enough where, like, I don't think Surtain's gonna follow him into like the slot and stuff. But Surtain does scare me. He is very good. He's all hopped up on Uncrustables down there too. He's foaming at the mouth. Okay, quickly, I'm just gonna say the top 10 tight ends, and if you guys have anything to say about the tight ends, different ones, let me know. I have Travis Kelce number 1 versus the Bucks. He plays really well on Monday nights as well. Like Patrick Mahomes, we talked about him earlier. Brock Bowers, I have 2 at the Bengals. I might lower him actually, just because I feel like he has no shot to ever score a touchdown. Trey McBride, I have at 3 versus the Bears. Similar thing to Brock Bowers. David Njoku, number 4 versus the Chargers. And then Cade Otton at the Chiefs. Cade Otton, number 1 tight end last week. Andy plays the defense this week that gives up the most fantasy points to tight ends. Feels like the stars are aligning for him. Feels like the ultimate fuck you, Zach spot, and he puts up a donut or something. But, like,
Agreed.
logically, he should play very well in this game. Thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, who else? Like, who else is there?
Yeah, I mean, point. I have Engram at 6. We liked him. Ferguson at 7. I still have ultimate faith in him.
Yep.
And then it's Kyle Pitts, Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid. I have Hawkinson at 11, Mark Andrews, Zach Ertz. Like, there's severe question marks after 3, but I don't know. But what's your guys' thoughts of, I might lower Bowers just because I don't think he scores a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who scores a touchdown is going to be top 7. Like, it's the same thing every single week. And I would agree. It's really hard to predict Bauer scoring a touchdown. I might be back into Mark Andrews.
Luke,
I know.
don't do this to me. I understand. I know where you are coming from, because last week I said things about Tua that, watching back, I don't even recognize myself.
Yeah.
We'll check in next week because he's gonna let you down.
I in a guillotine league, I held on to Mark Andrews all year, started him every single week this year, and it's finally paying off.
Yeah, shout out Randy. Randy came in out of nowhere.
Thanks, Randy.
Okay, a few questions here, and we will stay as long as you guys keep asking questions. By the way, Bray, should I trade James Cook and Josh Downs for Bijan? I think no.
Yeah, I agree with no. Can you get? No, you're probably not going to get anyone better than Bijan, because I love this trade if you can get like a superstar running back out of it.
How stacked would his wide receivers have to be to say yes?
He's got to have a pretty good wide receiver 1, 2, and 3. Like, Josh Downs has to be a wide receiver 4 or 5 for me.
Yeah, I agree.
That's kind of where I'm at because I do think Bijan's an upgrade, even though we shat on him earlier.
He did
But-
say he has Cook, CMC, JT, Garrett
Oh.
Wilson, DK, Puka starting right now, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. So with
I don't
that,
hate
I might
this.
actually do it.
I suddenly don't hate it. Yeah. I feel like you can get more, but I don't hate it.
I'm going to sound hypocritical here because I talked about how he might be like one of the most overrated players in the NFL right now for Bijan Robinson. He's still a very good player. I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
Of course.
See if you can get like a
to
like
win
a
a
lower wide
championship,
receiver back too.
to win a championship, you need to have stars on your team. Is Bijan Robinson is Bijan Robinson a player that you can slide into your flexor and he's going to win you a championship? Because I think that it is an interesting
No.
conversation to have.
Bijan Robinson has in PPR. Bijan Robinson has finished. Okay, he's doing better than I thought. He's finished top 10 the past 3 weeks. Before that, he finished top 15 once.
Yeah.
So what's the most likely outcome? What we've seen recently, or what we've seen for the past previous to that 21 games or so? You know?
I don't know.
But yeah, I think I'm okay with the trade. Would you guys rather though do it for Derrick Henry?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Would you rather do it for, let's say, does he have he has Jonathan Taylor. Would you rather do it for David Montgomery and a decent wide receiver?
Yes.
Is Montgomery an upgrade over Cook?
I don't know that they are. I think you can get an upgrade over Josh Downs though.
Probably.
Would you do this for Brees Hall?
Yeah. I think Brees Hall is top 3 running back for me rest of way. Maybe I'm drinking the cayenne water, but I'm not saying the Jets are out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think the Joe Flacco move puts a very big obstacle in the way. Like legitimately.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they can win out. Their schedule's so easy. It's just they lost to the Patriots last week, which
it hurts.
Should have been easy. It hurts bad. They need momentum. They need to do something and then feel good about themselves.
Real quick, Mike, we are live every Wednesday at 7:00.
Every Wednesday, different group, but we are live here Thursday before Thursday Night Football.
Mondays.
Trying to go live on Mondays as well. Hasn't been for the past couple, but yeah, FLURRYSports.org though. You can get a bunch of our articles and stuff like that. Noah Fant. What was that in terms of? Yes, I don't know. I'm intense.
Did you see someone someone bought a Noah Fant jersey from Temu and they sent it to Noah Fent?
Nice. I'm unsure of the Jets. Adams, who to start PPR at flex, Devontae, DJ Moore, Tillman, and Bucky.
I think I'm doing Adams.
That's how I have them ranked.
Yep.
Yeah,
I understand the hesitation, and I never thought I would ever say that, but I'm gonna stick with Adams.
Then Randy with an on-topic question.
Goff.
For sure. What a FU to the NFL last week by the Lions, by the way. Putting up 52 points and passing for under 100 yards is awesome.
That's like a Belichick game.
It was. And I love the Lions, but we can save some of these trick plays.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
If we're up by 40, we don't have to do this. It's fun. It's good for morale. We don't have to do this. It feels very, hey, Matt LaFleur, let's run David Bakhtiari in the end zone and throw it to him.
Yep.
I do like the fuck you attitude of continuing to put up a lot of points. but
Yeah, it's one of these are going to go wrong. But like the one part of me is like, okay, you need to start saving these plays when you don't need them. But then two, it's almost it's terrifying that they run one of these every week and it works every week because they have so many. If they're running it when they're up 40 points in a meaningless game, it just means like, we got to get rid of it. We have too many trick plays.
Yeah, Mike, I don't mean to laugh at you, but it's funny. He's pissed. He has Goff. All these trick plays. No one's ever pissed about trick plays unless you have the quarterback. And I've been in the same spot than him. I totally understand what he's saying.
Yeah. I don't get it, man. It's crazy. Thoughts on pickle juice? Good for cramps.
Love it. Love pickle juice.
Love the fluffy sports articles, by the way. Great for the content. Thank you. Reddit AMA, how many times do you think I had to answer? Oh, I thought it was furry sports. So one person did ask me what my favorite mascot was because they thought it was furry sports. And I think I said something about the Flyers gritty mascot. Like there's just something about him. I think it's the eyes. Struggling since he lost Rasheed. Any trade packages to suggest to get a wide receiver? I have Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, Christian McCaffrey, ETN Bigsby, Devontae Smith, Shakir, Flowers, Waddle, McBride, Hawkinson. Needing a wide receiver.
Yeah, he needs a bona fide one. I don't know if he's going to be able to get that, though.
I'm okay trading away.
I'm okay trading away
Aaron
McCaffrey.
Jones. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm trading Aaron Jones, and you don't need 2 tight ends.
You can trade one of them for sure. I'm almost okay trading away McBride.
Yep. I was in the same boat. I think you can definitely find somebody to go Aaron Jones and Trey McBride for a stud.
But I think you could also do Aaron Jones, Shakir for a stud. Probably. But I'm too stubborn with McCaffrey. Like if I had McCaffrey this entire time, I'll lose, but I need to play him. Because if I lose a game with him in my starting lineup, then I can be pissed at him. But right now, like I need to see it to the end. Is Jordan Love playing this week? I don't think so. Is Fant a good fill-in this week? They play the Rams, so I think he'll be okay. I assume Metcalf will be back, which hurts him a little bit probably, but he's been involved.
Metcalf's the 3rd best receiver on the team, huh?
I mean, are you saying there's only 2 other people who wouldn't strike out in a celebrity softball game? There's only 2 others who wouldn't come in last in a race. He stinks. I love Jackson Smith and Jigba.
And I love Tyler Lockett.
I do too. He's just he's got very different players, but he's got a lot of Jordy Nelson in him. Yeah. And they're both K-State guys.
Yeah.
Weird. Like it just goes out and does the damn thing.
Gets the job done.
He does. And DK Metcalf does not. And then he'll bitch about it. Stupid. Okay. Underdog picks. Jesus. Okay. So, if you haven't yet, scan the QR code, go and get the Underdog Fantasy app, download Underdog Fantasy, go to underdogfantasy.com, do one of the above, and use the promo code FLURRY, FLURRY. You can get a $1,000 bonus on your first deposit. There's a bunch of drafts that you can do to make real money. You can do pick 'em and lock in some of these picks that we have. I have a touchdown parlay, so I will go last, but I've been scrolling and just adding them. And if we do a flex, it's a 12.5 times payout with 3.5 if we get one wrong. But if I go standard and don't want to go for getting a payout with losses, if I'm going all in, it's a 25 times payout. So I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I like it. Trevor, would you like to give your pick first?
Yeah, this guy has hit it 5 of the 7 weeks this season as Luke goes dark mode. James Cook over 15.5 receiving yards. His rushing yards prop is 67.5. His rushing and receiving yards prop is 87.5, yet his receiving yards prop is 15.5. I think they're gonna get him a ton of work. He's gonna get at least, in my opinion, 2 to 4 checkdowns. Him getting 8 yards per carry or 8 yards per reception on those, not outside the realm of possibility at all.
I like it.
I don't know if I don't know if I really like the pick because there must be something I'm missing. I know Denver's a good defense. Lamar Jackson's at 204.5 passing yards. That feels kind of low to me. For
Yeah.
someone who's gonna be is a top 3 MVP. So unless I'm missing something, I'm gonna pivot off of that and I'm going to go Joe Flacco over 1.5 rushing yards.
That's a lock.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fully transparent, very close to putting the Joe Flacco rushing touchdown in my touchdown fund, which would have boosted it quite a bit. Okay, so I have 5 here. Again, it's a 25 times payout. If you do, you would have to get all 5 of them correct. If you enter it as a flex, that means you can get one wrong and still get a payout. The max would be 12.5 at that point, or 3.5 times your entry if you got one wrong. I have Kyron Williams, David Montgomery,
Yeah.
Devon A-Chain, can be rushing or receiving, by the way, for all of these. Nick Chubb and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I think Chubb is iffy and Josh Allen's iffy. I think the other 3 are locks.
Yep, I agree. What does that do for pay?
If I put $5 in for the standard, it would be $125 payout. If I put 5 in for a flex, that means I could win 62 if I get them all correct, or I could win around 17, I believe, if I got one wrong. If I decided to take out Chubb and Allen and I just wanted to do the locks, the standard's still 5.7 times payout, so 5 to win 28.
Yeah,
which isn't
not bad. Yep.
I don't mind that at all. And there's so many like boosts right now.
I have a 25% boost sitting in my inbox.
I have a 31% right now. So just on that last one, I could have boosted that 5 up to 7.1. So it's $5 to win 36.
Yeah.
For those 3, that's feels like free money.
Yep, agreed.
And you can put up to $1,000 on that. So use the promo code FLURRY, get that $1,000 bonus, put it on this, and then win $7,000. Come back, tip us $3,000. We'll split it evenly, and then you get to keep $3,000 just for being you. How about that? Should I trade Tracy for Josh Downs?
Yes.
I think it depends on your situation. That's a dumb answer, but
in a vacuum, yes.
I think I view them pretty similar. I think I like Downs better. So yes, I guess. But I think Tracy's a flex guy rest of the way when he's healthy.
I think Downs is too. Yeah.
I think Downs, yeah. He's probably wide receiver 3 flex. So they're close. It would be your flex. It depends on where you have depth, I feel like. Like if you have good running back depth and Tracy is like your 4th running back, I think I would keep him. Or trade him, rather. Sorry. If you have good depth, I think I would trade him for the position you have less depth on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we will be back in a little bit here. So this is the end of the fantasy show. Every Wednesday we are live here immediately